Hey everyone, so this is Vikings Season 4, Episode 11, called The Outsider, and I'm really happy to start, recapping and reviewing this because it's been a favorite of mine since about spring of 2014 when I started watching it, so I'm really excited to be doing this. So I'm going to jump right in. The episode starts off where Episode 10 left off, with Ragnar demanding if anyone wants to be king. Uba steps forward, making it seem like he wants to fight, but he doesn't. So the pair hug. Then Bjorn, comes over and asks why he came back. All the sons besides Ivar leave to go talk to Ragnar by themselves, and Bjorn tells Ragnar that it appears he has another son named Magnus by Queen K. I'm just gonna call her Queen K because who the fuck named her Quenthrith? I don't fucking know. I mean, Michael Hurst needs to, I don't know why he came up with that name. It might have been a name back in that day, but I mean, why he actually had to name her Quenthrith, I don't freaking know. So I'm just gonna call her Queen K for now because I know I'm just gonna end up kind of butchering it. So she Magnus is the son of Queen K by Ragnar, and Magnus is about 12 years old here now, and he's living in the court of King Egbert. While pretty much everyone knows that the settlement that Ragnar and Lagertha had helped create back in season 1 or season 2 or whatever. It was the beginning of season 2 or something where they set up that settlement, and then everyone knows that that settlement had been destroyed pretty much right after Ragnar had left. Ragnar and them had left, so everyone knows about that. But what everyone doesn't know, because of the fact that they haven't been back there since they had set up the settlement, is that Queen K is now dead, and King Egbert is now the king of both Wessex and Mercia. So they don't know that now, but when they go back, they're gonna end up finding that out. So Magnus is living in King Egbert's court, and he's about 12 years old. Ragnar says he came back to see what became of his sons, which I necessarily don't believe, because as we keep hearing throughout the episode, all Ragnar wants to do is go back to England to right mistakes that he made, as far as not doing anything about the settlement beforehand, or hearing about the settlement beforehand. Bjorn then says that he's going to the Mediterranean because of the map that he found in Paris. Uba, and Sigurd don't plan on going with Bjorn, but Vitsark plans on going with Bjorn to the Mediterranean because Kattegat Vitsark plans to go to Mediterranean with Bjorn. Uwe and Sigurd don't plan on going to Kattegat, or don't plan on going because Kattegat is a major trading hub apparently now. So a little bit later, you see Ivar wants to know why Sigurd and Uwe don't want to go with Ragnar to England. Then he just gropes the slave's butt when she pours him more ale. I'm just like, ill, dude, ill, please. I had high hopes for you, Ivar, but seeing little shady ass, seeing what he did when he was a little kid, he literally killed a kid with an axe because the kid took away the ball or whatever the fuck it was when he was a kid, because he took it away. The kid took away the ball that Ivar had in his hands, that Floki gave it to him, and then he killed the fucking dude, the kid with the freaking axe, and it's like, and then the kid's a freaking. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a sociopath. I would not be surprised. Like, I would not be surprised if he's a low-key sociopath at all. I really wouldn't be surprised. I mean, seeing what he did when he was a kid, nah, I'm not buying that the kid's not a sociopath. So anyway, Lagatha is seen, I guess you could say, training a woman to fight hand-to-hand combat. And I'll get into a prediction about that at the end here. But because I have a theory about that. I have a complete theory about that. But I will get back to that at the end, like I said. Bjorn then goes to see the seer about Ragnar, and is told that Ragnar pretty much had no choice but to come back. I don't have any speculations about that for right now, but maybe when we go, if we see any like backstory about where he was, like in flashbacks or something, or whether Ragnar actually explains where he was for all this time, maybe then I'll have some predictions about that. But as of right now, I don't. But the seer also says that Ragnar's return will bring calamity, disorder, chaos, tragedy, and death. So I'm sitting here thinking like, well, damn, I don't want to be anywhere within 100-mile radius of this dude, because if that's going to be the case, I don't want to be here when all this shit goes down. All I want is to live in peace and happiness, and just, live my life. So if this motherfucker is bringing all this shit over here, I ain't going within 100 miles of the motherfucker. I'm gonna make sure that I live to old age, or whatever age that is in Viking times. So I want to live. So if this motherfucker's bringing all this shit, like including death, I ain't having it. So that's just me. So because I was just thinking that, I was like, no. Ragnar may be cute and hot and all this shit, like he might be yummy looking and everything, but he ain't worth dying over just because he might have all this glory and shit. Like, he ain't worth dying for. So, anyway. Bjorn then goes back home to Torvi, who, and it looks like they have 2 kids. One that's sleeping, and then one, I think, Torvi is breastfeeding. I don't know, because it looked like she was breastfeeding a baby, but I don't know, because it didn't show a baby. It didn't actually show the baby, if there was one. And he reveals to her that Ragnar feels going back to England is the most important thing, but Bjorn doesn't think so, because everything was always about Ragnar, but that's not the case now. The next day, Ragnar goes to meet with Helga and Floki. And Ragnar's pretty upset about the fact that Floki's going with Bjorn to the Mediterranean instead of him with him to England. But Floki tells Ragnar he promised Bjorn already to go with him, and that if Ragnar feels like England is the most important thing, he should have gone back a long time ago. And so Floki reminds Ragnar that he didn't tell anyone about the settlement because he cares about Ragnar. So that should count for something, I guess. Anyway, so throughout the day, Ivar sees all of his brothers having sex with the slave girl's butt that he groped. And her name is Margaret, I think that's how you pronounce it. That's what I heard one of the boys call her. So he pretty much sees Uwe have sex with her first, then he sees Vitsark have sex with her, then he finally sees Sigurd have sex with her as well, and it's just like, this boy, okay, he's desperate. Like, he's desperate to have sex with somebody. Like, this boy still got his V card and everything. It's just like, so pretty much after all the boys go have sex with this girl, they all go out into the woods to fight and shoot bows and arrows. And Ivor is not that bad with a bow and arrow, considering he can't really, use his legs. But okay, so this is my thing. Throughout the entire episode, I noticed that Ivor's eyes were blue. Okay, so what the fuck is going on with that? Is that because of the name that he got when he was born? Because if y'all remember, when he was born, he was named Ivor the Boneless. So is it because of that, or what? I mean, I don't know what. Like, was it just a technical error, like when they were filming the episode, or what? Because like his eyes were fucking blue the entire fucking episode. Like, or at least the majority of the episode, his eyes were blue. Like, they were prominently blue. Like, not, like, no. I don't understand. Like, what was the point of showing his eyes as blue? Because, I mean, was that just a technical error on the producer's part when they were cutting the episode together, or what? Because, I mean, I don't understand, like, or was it like it had anything to do with his name that he got when he was born, or what? Like, I mean, I don't know, like, what's going on, like, what's the, like, yeah, and it bugged the shit out of me the entire time, like, it literally bugged me to no end the entire time, and it was just like, what's the point of him, like, I mean, did anybody else notice that, or was it just what I was watching on, like, because I was watching it like online, so it wasn't just the online version, or was it like actually on the television when it was airing last night, or what? Because I sure as hell it was just weird. So if anybody can, shed some light on that, please drop a comment below, because I sure as hell was confused by that, and annoyed the fuck out of me the entire time. So anyway, so as far as like the whole, all the boys sleeping with Margaret, I think there's something up with her, because she's literally sleeping with every one of those boys, every one of them, except Ivor, because he doesn't. I mean, you kind of figure out why she didn't want to sleep with him. Later when he does actually try to sleep with her, but it's just, I feel like there's something going on with her, and I don't know what, because obviously we didn't really see too much of her besides her having sex with all the boys, trying to have sex with all the boys. So I don't necessarily know what it is that's up with her, but I feel like there's something up with her, and I mean, I think we're gonna find out by episode 15. I think we're gonna end up finding out by like episode 15 or something. Who knows? But something's up with her. Something definitely seems off with her. So a little later, we find out that Ivar wants to sleep with Margaret, but he doesn't think that will happen because he is a cripple. His word, not mine. I did not come up with that for him. Anyway, so Ragnar then, Ivar is then brought to a cabin to have sex with her, and he looks so damn scared. Like, he looks so scared. I was like, boy, after all this showboating and shit, you're, I guess if you're showboating and stuff, kind of covers up whatever, what you really feel. Anyway, so Ragnar then goes to meet with Lagertha, but meets with Astrid first, and she's the woman who was, training with Lagertha at the beginning of the episode. So Lagertha then comes up with an owl on her arm, and has Astrid leave before she, talks with Ragnar. And she's wondering why he left Kattegat, because, first he says that he was no longer interested in being there, but she is confused by that because he's still king. She asks why she came to see her, and emphasizes that he is her ex-husband. Then it goes back to Margaret and Ivar having sex, and she's clearly not enjoying it at all. And I'm just like, well, damn, this boy can't catch a damn break, can he? So basically he's like, well, I'm going to have to kill you because I can't seem to satisfy you well enough, and you're going to end up telling my brothers about it anyway. But she's like, no, I won't. And just because your junk doesn't work doesn't mean that he's any less of a man. And eventually he breaks down crying, and I'm just like, I don't necessarily know if I trust him at all, because he seems like a sociopath in the making. I don't know. Anyway, Ragnar tells Lagertha that he is going back to Wessex and wants her to come with him. She's upset that he didn't, tell her about the settlement and its destruction earlier. And he's like, yeah, I know, I fucked up. I should have said something earlier. And he tells her that he regrets what happened between them and other things as well. He tells her Bjorn has plans of his own, doesn't really elaborate on Bjorn going to the Mediterranean. I'm assuming because he wants her to pretty much sign off on going with him to England, because if she knows Bjorn's going to the Mediterranean, then she would most likely go to the Mediterranean, because that's new and different, and England is old and I guess familiar and stuff. So anyway, he says he wishes he never left their farm, and asks to be forgiven for his faults and failings. And she says, well, I have no regrets, yet I'm feeling like I have regrets. I have them anyway. So she sees him off, and a little later, she and Astrid share a kiss. And I really, really want to tell you my theory about those two right now, but I'm gonna keep it low key until just for a little bit longer. Ubba asks the others who they will go with. Vitserk says he's committed to going with Bjorn. Sigurd says that he's going with Ragnar, and Ivar says pretty much none of them deserve to go with Ragnar because they're all bastards and everything. So Ragnar then is seen going to a tree and tries to hang himself, but the rope ends up snapping off the tree branch. Like, we all knew that was going to end up happening. Whether that was actually going to happen or someone's going to, cut him down before he dies, I figured one of those two was going to happen, because this show is revolved around him. So if he dies, the show pretty much dies. So there's no way that he was going to just end up dying. I mean, at least not for a while. At least not for a couple more seasons if they make it that far. Anyway, so Ragnar then finally goes to speak with Ivar, and Ivar tells him that he isn't, pretty much ever since Ragnar abandoned him, he's been filled with anger for that, and he doesn't want to be told that he's going to England, but asked to go to England like his brothers were asked. And before Ragnar can actually, get that question out, Ivar agrees to go with him. And before I get into any predictions, I am going to tell what's going to happen next week on Vikings in the little clip that we saw. And it looks like the plans Ragnar has for going to England are coming to fruition, and all he pretty much needs is just more warriors first. Like, he needs those first before he can do anything. Um, so we see him trying to get some men to go with him to England. I'm assuming that he's gonna get at least maybe about five boatfuls full of men to go with him, at least that much, if not more. Well, maybe not even at least five boatfuls. Maybe about maybe anywhere from 1 to 5 boatfuls of men to go with him. So I'm gonna get that approximation that he's gonna have that many at least, approximately. Ivar tells his mother Aslog that he's going to England, but she doesn't want him to because she feels going with Ragnar will end up killing him. Who knows? It might not. I don't know. I don't necessarily know the backstory of Ragnar's sons too in depth, but and when exactly they were killed. I mean, I know that Ragnar himself apparently had approximately 3 wives. One with Lagertha, the second with Aslog, and then the third one. I don't remember who, but he had about 3 wives. Anyway, then we hear that Lagertha feels that Aslog doesn't deserve to be Queen of Kattegat. So, there's that. So now on to my predictions. My first prediction is a long-term prediction. I think, long-term meaning throughout the rest of the season, or throughout until at least the end of episode 20. I don't think Lagertha is romantically interested in Astrid. I don't think that at all. I think Astrid is just a means to an end for Lagertha, and that she's only interested in Astrid so she can have Astrid kill Aslog for her. Because if any of you remember, or not remember, but if any of you saw the trailer for the second half of the season, you heard Lagertha tell Aslog that she will never forgive Aslog for taking the life that Aslog is now living and should have been Lagertha's. So I think that Astrid is just a means to an end to kill Aslog. And the reason I think that is because this leads me to my second prediction, which is I think Lagertha will go with Ragnar to England and have Astrid kill Aslog for her as she's away going to England. So I guess you could say it's either a 2-part, prediction or 2 separate predictions, but basically that's my whole theory regarding Aslog and stuff, so, and Lagertha. Now, my last prediction is, and I made this prediction months ago when I was first watching the first part of this season 4, that I think where Ragnar was in China, or some part wherever. I think it's China that Edu was living. 'Cause I think that's where she said she was from. I don't remember specifically where she said that she was from, but either was China or some Southeast Asian country, and I think that's where Ragnar was. Either that or was in England, but I personally think that he was in Asia somewhere. Checking up, going to see where Edu lived and all that stuff. I think that's where he was. That's where I think he was. What he was doing, I don't really know. That's yet to be seen. But I personally think that there's a good chance that he was in Asia in the years that he has been away. So that's my prediction, or my predictions. Two of them being long term, one of them being, in regards to the next episode. But those are my predictions. And again, I'm really excited to have this show back up. And I can't wait to, keep recapping and reviewing the show. And I hope you guys like it. And please don't hesitate to comment on this and other shows that I recap and review. And I will see you guys next Thursday for another episode of Vikings. And tomorrow for Rosewood, because I think Rosewood's coming on tonight. Anyway, see you guys then. And like I said, please don't hesitate to talk to me about this episode, past episodes, and future episodes, because I would love to talk about it with you guys. Same goes for any other show that I recap and review as well. So until next time, guys, bye.